Did you know that one of the oldest known scams, the pigeon drop, dates back to the 19th century? It's still being pulled off today, proving that some tricks never go out of style. Scams have been around for as long as humans have been around, and it's fascinating to see how some of these ancient tactics are still being used today. Whether it's the cleverness of the scammer or the gullibility of the victim, one thing's for sure: scams are here to stay. From ancient Greece to modern-day online phishing, scams have evolved with the times, adapting to new technologies and exploiting human psychology. It's a cat-and-mouse game between scammers and their marks, with the scammers always looking for new ways to separate people from their hard-earned cash. One thing's for certain: scams are a reflection of our society, revealing the darker aspects of human nature and the weaknesses that we all have. So, let's take a journey through time and explore some of the most ancient scams that still work today. In ancient Greece, scam artists would sell fake wine, taking advantage of the lack of regulation and oversight. They'd mix water with a little bit of real wine, creating a concoction that was undrinkable. The unsuspecting buyer would purchase the wine thinking they were getting a good deal, only to find out later that it was virtually worthless. Fast forward to ancient Rome, where a similar scam emerged. Scammers would sell fake olive oil, mixing it with cheaper alternatives like lard or rapeseed oil. The buyer would think they were getting high-quality olive oil, only to find out later that it was almost useless for cooking. In ancient China, there was a scam known as the empty box scam. Scammers would sell empty boxes to unsuspecting buyers, claiming that they contained valuable items like jewels or precious metals. The buyer would hand over their money, only to find out later that the box was empty. During the Middle Ages, the relic scam was all the rage. Scammers would sell fake religious relics, claiming that they had the power to heal or bring good fortune. The gullible would hand over large sums of money, thinking that they were buying a piece of divinity. In ancient Egypt, scammers would sell fake papyrus, claiming that it contained ancient wisdom or magical spells. The buyer would hand over their money only to find out later that the papyrus was worthless. The shell game has been around for centuries, with scammers using sleight of hand to deceive their victims. This ancient scam is still being used today, with scammers using cups, balls, and other objects to confuse and deceive their marks. Another ancient scam that still works today is the lost and found scam. Scammers would pretend to find a lost item, like a ring or a wallet, and then claim it as their own. They'd offer to return the item to the owner in exchange for a reward, which would often be much more than the item was worth. The fortune-telling scam has been around for thousands of years, with scammers claiming to have the ability to predict the future or read minds. They'd use cold reading techniques to extract information from their victims, making it seem like they had supernatural abilities. One of the most notorious scams from ancient history is the Spanish prisoner scam. This scam involved a scammer claiming to be a wealthy aristocrat who was imprisoned under false charges. They'd promised to share their fortune with the victim if they could help them escape, but of course there was no fortune, and the scammer would disappear with the victim's money. This scam is still being used today, with scammers using email and social media to reach their victims. They'll claim to be a wealthy businessman or government official, promising to share their fortune in exchange for a small fee or favor. It's a clever scam that has been around for centuries, and it still works today. The Spanish prisoner scam highlights the cleverness and creativity of scammers. They're able to adapt to new technologies and exploit human psychology, using our trust and greed against us. It's a testament to the fact that scams are here to stay, and we need to be vigilant to avoid falling victim to them. Scams reveal a lot about human psychology and the weaknesses that we all have. They exploit our trust, our greed, and our fears, using our emotions against us. By understanding these scams, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Scams also reveal the darker aspects of human nature, highlighting the fact that there are people out there who are willing to deceive and manipulate others for financial gain. It's a sobering reminder that we need to be constantly on guard against these scams, using our critical thinking skills to separate fact from fiction. The ancient scams that still work today are a testament to the fact that human nature hasn't changed much over the centuries. We're still prone to the same flaws and weaknesses that our ancestors were, and we need to be aware of these scams to avoid falling victim to them. So, what can we learn from these ancient scams? Firstly, we need to be skeptical of any opportunity that seems too good to be true. We need to do our research using our critical thinking skills to separate fact from fiction. Secondly, we need to be aware of our own weaknesses and biases. We need to understand how scammers use our emotions against us and take steps to protect ourselves. Finally, we need to be vigilant, using our knowledge and awareness to spot scams before they spot us. By being mindful of these ancient scams, we can avoid falling victim to them and stay one step ahead of the scammers. So, what's your experience with scams? Have you ever fallen victim to one, or do you know someone who has? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing content.